There comes a moment when we feel it. The subtle shift in tone, the dismissive glance, the absence of regard where respect once stood. It does not announce itself loudly. It creeps in quietly. A delayed reply, a careless comment, a public contradiction. Something in us tightens. The chest hardens. The mind begins its fevered narration. How dare she? And just like that, our peace is no longer ours. But what truly unsettles us is not her behavior. It is our reaction to it. The sting of disrespect pierces only where ego has left skin exposed. If we are honest, what burns is not the event itself, but the story we attach to it. The fear of being diminished, the terror of being unseen, the ancient hunger to be validated. And so the real battle begins not between us and her, but within. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When respect falters, this is the line we must remember. Because the moment we try to control her perception, her tone, her choices, we surrender the only domain that was ever ours, our inner world. If she does not respect you, do this immediately. 1. Pause and refuse the first impulse. The first impulse is rarely wise. It is born from wounded pride, not disciplined thought. It urges us to react, to correct her, to assert dominance, to retaliate. But the unexamined reaction is the quickest path to self-betrayal. We must pause, not dramatically, not to prove a point, simply to create space between stimulus and response. In that space, our freedom lives. Epictetus reminded us that it is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. If that is true, then the first task is not to fix her behavior, but to interrogate our interpretation. What exactly happened? What meaning did we attach to it? Is the story we are telling ourselves even true? Most disrespect we perceive is filtered through insecurity. We assume intention where there may be ignorance. We assume malice where there may be indifference. By pausing, we deny our ego the wheel. We prevent a temporary emotion from dictating permanent consequences. Strength is not found in immediate retaliation. It is found in mastery over the surge. 2. Examine the wound within. If her lack of respect unsettles us deeply, it reveals something. It reveals that we are still dependent on approval, on affirmation, on external confirmation of our worth. And dependence is the seed of resentment. Seneca observed, "He who is brave is free." But bravery here does not mean confrontation. It means turning inward and asking the uncomfortable question, why does this disturb me so much? If our sense of value collapses because someone else withholds recognition, then our foundation was never stable. We must rebuild from within. Our worth cannot be rented from others. It cannot fluctuate with mood, attention, or praise. It must be anchored in character, in the knowledge that we act with integrity whether applauded or ignored. When we examine the wound, we begin to heal it. We stop blaming her for touching a bruise we never treated. We take responsibility for our emotional architecture. And in doing so, we grow stronger than before. 3. Withdraw energy, not dignity. There is a difference between walking away in anger and stepping back in clarity. One is reactive, the other is deliberate. If she does not respect you, do not beg for it. Do not argue for it. Do not attempt to convince someone of your value. That is a negotiation you will always lose. Respect freely given is meaningful. Respect extracted is hollow. Instead, withdraw your emotional investment. Continue to act with composure. Continue to speak calmly. Continue to embody your principles. But redirect your energy toward what is within your control, your work, your discipline, your growth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." We do not descend into sarcasm or hostility. We rise into indifference, not coldness, but freedom. We become less attached to outcomes and more committed to virtue. And in that quiet withdrawal, we regain our center. 4. Set the boundary. Without drama. Boundaries are not threats. They are declarations of self-respect. They do not require shouting. They require clarity. If behavior continues that contradicts your values, address it once. Calmly, without accusation, without theatrics. Speak from principle, not emotion. I do not tolerate being spoken to this way. And then let silence carry the weight. Epictetus taught that no one can insult us unless we permit it. A boundary is simply the removal of permission. It is not an attempt to control her. It is a statement about what we will and will not participate in. The power of a boundary lies in enforcement, not repetition. If the behavior persists, your response is not louder words. It is reduced access. Time, attention, presence, these are privileges, and we grant them wisely. 5. Reinforce your life's mission. Disrespect wounds most when we have too little else anchoring us. When our emotional world revolves around one person, every tremor feels like an earthquake. We must return to our purpose, to the work that sharpens us, to the habits that fortify us, to the long arc of becoming who we are meant to be. A disciplined morning routine, physical training, study, reflection, contribution. These are not distractions, they are foundations. When our days are structured around growth, we become less susceptible to emotional turbulence. We wake each morning not seeking validation, but seeking improvement. We measure ourselves against yesterday, not against someone else's approval. As one modern interpreter of ancient wisdom has said, we cannot control the winds, but we can adjust our sails. Our mission becomes that sail, and with it, we move forward, regardless of who applauds from the shore. 6. Accept the possibility of departure. There is a final truth we must face. Sometimes the most powerful response is leaving, not as punishment, not as manipulation, but as alignment. If respect cannot exist within the relationship, then the relationship cannot exist within our life. Harmony requires mutual regard. This acceptance requires courage. It means being willing to lose someone rather than lose ourselves. It means trusting that solitude with dignity is superior to companionship without respect. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily of impermanence. Everything is temporary: approval, affection, even love. But character endures, and when we choose character over attachment, we become unshakable. So if she does not respect you, do this immediately. Reclaim your mind. Master the impulse. Heal the wound. Withdraw your energy. Set the boundary. Reinforce your mission. And if necessary, walk away with composure. We are not here to be worshipped. We are not here to be validated. We are here to live in accordance with reason, discipline, and virtue. Respect from others is a byproduct. Self-respect is the source. And once we understand that, nothing she does can disturb our peace again.